Okay, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And the hummingbirds are coming to their feeders. Oh, I have a feeder on my window. And this little hummingbird comes and oh, they're just drinking. All right. And for those of you here this morning, my ant friends have decided to go back outside, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. All right. So as you're settling, just go inside. For you guys on the East Coast and also in Central Time, Mountain Time, and Central Time, it's bedtime. So I appreciate you all very much making the effort to stay up. And like Michael hasn't even eaten dinner yet. So, Michael, thank you for hosting when you're hungry. So just have your feet about hips width apart, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And now imagine your spine is just this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. Putting some space in between those vertebrae. Take a nice deep breath and then just bring your awareness to the crown of the head, and maybe you can feel some sensation there, or maybe not. And then just relax the scalp. Just relax your whole. So you notice when you relax your scalp, also your face automatically just releases. Relax the forehead, the eyes, and the nose, and the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the back of the tongue, the temples, the back of the head, the back of the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just notice, the conversations that are in your mind this evening, what thoughts are arising and what stories are coming up. And try not to judge them or engage. Just allow them to arise. Take a step back and observe what's going on there. And then bring to mind all the people of our life. So you can start with our loved ones. These are very dear and precious friends, spouses, children, and all kind of our relatives, near and far. And then we have ones we don't like so much. And then there's our strangers. And they can all change place. These relationships can be interchangeable. However you think about anyone at any particular time, they're all equal in their wish to be happy. They wish to be free from suffering and in having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So start by thinking that we'll do this meditation for all of these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So everyone here has people that they're obviously thinking of. So just dedicate for them. And then think about how there is no negativity that can't be purified. But just allow that to sink in. Try and believe it. Because it's a psychological process that we're dealing with right now. So we can just change. We can change to more positive ways of thinking. So we start with the power of regret. So regret isn't guilt. And so sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And then think of specific actions of both your body and your speech and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of this future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want their future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can we do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. And so the first of these two sections, one in this category, one is refuge, the other is developing compassion. The first is refuge. So our internal refuge, of course, is ourselves. Taking refuge in our own wisdom, our own intuition, our own creativity, our own inner Buddha. And then this outer refuge, this in this case is the Buddha Vajrasattva. So you can imagine we are not relying on him as a kind of icon kind of thing. We're not asking this Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black, and it's held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing the wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents a union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings and the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawal Sitokaya Mebawal Sipokaya Mebawal Anurakta Mebawal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hom pe. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you've walked into a dark room, can't see a thing, and you flick on the switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the same here as when the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all of your attachment and neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva very happily sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely. and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this very important power of resolve. So it's the fourth and final step in this purification process. It's really crucial that we make a decision. I mean, we don't do anything unless we make a decision first. So you have to decide, just decide, I don't want to harm. And then you get specific. I don't want to harm with my body and my speech and my mind. And without making this decision, this determination, we're just going to keep going over and over again. These same old habits, ingraining them further and further. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So first of all, rejoice that you're here. For some of you, it's very late. So rejoice in your effort there. It's amazing. And then think about something you'd like to work on. Just do it over the weekend. Maybe once on Saturday, once on Sunday. And just maybe you can also journal your, these little things that you're working on and just see if you're making any progress. So this Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness for a little bit, or as much as you understand that topic. So you can think, in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while, and you can think, all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. With bodies bodiless, the best of bodies, with realization of the peak of bodies, displaying his form in every possible way, he is the greatest stone, the precious gem. Oops. 2 more verses. Did we lose it? That's okay. We can just do one tonight. If it's difficult, we can just do one. We do 4 on Monday. No, 5 on Monday.
We'll start chapter 10 on Monday. So
okay. Well, what? Oh, it's chapter 10 that we're up to. Huh. Okay. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Have a wonderful weekend. And let's just dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for all of your own individual wonderful, precious teachers to live long. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks for hosting, Michael. And I will see you all on Monday. Okay. Have a good weekend, as we say in Australia. Have a good weekend. Okay.
Thank you very much.